and welcome to the Flooring Models live show. Here we are with you live on the 16th of December 2021. Only 2 more show sleeps till Christmas.
Show sleeps?
Live show sleeps, if you include this one. Yes, it's that magical time of the year. Nathan started already with his little Christmas jumper on. Bless.
Yeah.
Good
You
job.
wear that one to work as well?
Yep, all week.
Every day's like Christmas at Nathan's place, I can tell you. Anyway, I hope you're all doing very well. That's a big lorry. I hope that's not for here. Sorry, a big lorry just got up the road. So yes, hope you're all doing very well and everything's treating you well. So here we are with Omicron, the Transformer COVID thing, version 2. It's starting to get a bit of a grip around the world and everything else like that. So please remember to stay safe, everybody, and get your booster, and all the rest of it goes with it. That's all I'd say on that subject. So, but yes, definitely. John, you all right? How's life at Her Majesty's Post Office?
Yeah, no, I'm good, thank you.
Very good.
Yeah.
Still enjoying it like a little elf out there?
Oh, I love it.
This is
Absolutely love it.
it. Definitely. And Andy, how are you feeling? You doing all right?
Yeah, fine. I've been under the weather for a couple of days, but just cold, I think. It's got hold of me, but feeling all right now, actually, to be honest with you.
You're bouncing back from
Come
it.
back the other side.
This is it. You'll be soon. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
not that soon, but generally you'll be all right. And Nathan, how's it going with you?
Oh, good. I broke up for Christmas holidays. I'm
That's it.
finished.
That's the way to do it, isn't it?
Oh, it's all right for some.
Yeah, definitely in the wrong profession, isn't it? Definitely good. No Matt this evening, because clearly he's at his new place at the moment. It's sort of his little stopgap palace until his house is sorted out and all the rest of it. So he's moved out. That all went very well and he's fine. But he's staying somewhere over Christmas. And, well, we can't mention where he is because it's illegal. And yes, but anyway, he will be back with us next week when we do our sort of special show and all the rest of it. Good evening to everybody who's in live chat. I've got the chat room over here today, so if you see me looking over there, that's where you all are. So you're all there. Hope you're all doing very well and everyone's staying safe and all the rest of it. So, busy week this week. I've been absolutely flying, if you haven't noticed. So if I run around mine first, guys, and then we can have a look, see what you're up to. That's a clue in case you need to get anything out, just saying. Right, okay, so from my point of view, if I change cameras, you can see Galactica, which is now Pegasus, because I've renamed it, is all done and finished off. You see, we've got our very nice stand down in there. So she is all done. We've gone underneath here. To be honest, there's another 4, well, say 3.5 parts still to come of this particular build. But from my point of view, I've just got to do some final photos for it. But really, really happy how she's turned out. No problems with it at all. The weathering, it's one of those things. It's just, I was getting carried away and I needed to stop. Otherwise, I'd still be weathering it now because I've had a lot of fun weathering this one. So this is the Mobius 1 to 104,005 scale. Galactica, although I have, you can see, I've done it as Pegasus because I just wanted to be a little bit different. Poster pens as always, so we've done the glossy, goldy stuff with that one. So that's all done and she's looking fine. So the next part of that will be up with you tomorrow. And then there'll be another part on Monday. And then another part will be up with you on Friday. And then there'll be another part up with you, which will be the shorter one after that as well. Which will be with the bonus feature as well with that particular build. So that's coming along very, very nicely, as you can see. Love that one. It's gone together very, very nice. All right, so that's that one we've been working on and completed off. So that was the goal for this. The other one, I was asked last week about the Spitfire, how it's coming along and all the rest of it. So yes, I've been busy weathering. I've got to edit all of this because obviously you would have seen it when it was just in its normal form. And now obviously she is all completely weathered up. So now it's just literally ready for sort of final assembly. And we can go with it like that. But really happy out of this one. So really I've done it'll be probably broken up into 3 sort of bite-sized videos about this one, which will be obviously covering about doing the post shading, because we've post shaded this, as you can probably see. And then obviously we've gone in some washes and then we've gone to town with oils to really knock this thing back. So it's had a little bit of an oil wash and filter wash over it and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll be a good one, so it explains everything that's going on with it and right the way through. So my plan really is tomorrow is to get this finished. So everything's done, it's all here, I've just got to put it all together then. And we are good to go. But very, very happy how it's turned out. Again, it's an absolutely fantastic kit. If anybody's in any doubt about, you know, what is technically a 25 quid kit, it's really, really nice. So, and obviously you can throw some extra bits at it if you want to and things like that. But very, very happy how she has turned out. So watch out for that one. That one will be up next week as well as other days. A couple of other goodies turned up for me as well. Thank you to everybody who pointed this out to me. That's what I love about this site, because I didn't realise Sharpie did ultrafine. So one of the guys popped a link up into the actual site as well. So I've gone out and I've gone on Amazon, and they're not that expensive. So I've got a full set of Sharpie pens. Now the big thing to remember is that Posca pens are pure acrylics. So they go on, these aren't. These are alcohol based or enamel based or whatever they are as well. So just be mindful of that if you're thinking about over weathering them with oils especially and things like that as well. Yeah, it's not like an acrylic, which you're quite safe with these. So you do have to be, I would say, a little bit mindful where you're sticking these. So if you're using it for doing stuff like we spoke about the Battlestar Galactica, because I used a Sharpie to do all the red work with it, you know, as long as you're not going over it with anything else particularly that could sort of activate this, or it could affect your paintwork underneath and things like that, i.e. bleeding. Be careful with Sharpies. If you overspray Sharpie, they tend to bleed. So whereas obviously Posca pens don't. So but anyway, those turned up. I've also had, to be honest, a couple of books turn up today as well. So obviously I'm going to do the Jag. So I've got, this is the Duke Hawkins one. This is the first one they actually did, which I didn't realise that. But again, can't go wrong with a bit of reference. I have got the Retirement Jag book as well. But I thought this one might be a nice one. As you can see, it's got some very nice stuff through on this one with all the details. So I will do a proper probably flick through of this a little bit later. And things, but you can see you've got all the nice reference stuff out of the UK, French, and I think we've even got the Indian ones in here as well somewhere. So we've got some nice reference photos and things like that in as well. So that's that one. Feel free to pause and get the names off of it. Got the IBAN on the back there if you squint, which is that one. And then this one turned up today, which I didn't realise was a hardback. So this is the Legends of Warfare series again. So this one again, I purely wasn't expecting it to be a hardback because it wasn't very expensive, and I bought this off of Amazon. So again, so it's not like a full-on everything in there. It's just a lot of glossy pictures, but you have got some detail shots in this as well and some information around. But there's lots of pictures of them generally, but you have got detailed photos in here as well, which is quite handy if you're planning on doing a Super Hornet, as we are going to be doing 2 Super Hornets next year. So obviously we're going to do the big 32nd one, and we're going to do the 48 scale Growler as well. So again, this has got the single seat, the 2-seat Foxtrot, and we've got the Growler in here as well. And as you can see, some very nice pictures. It's a nice reference one to the Growler, the cockpits and various things. I think they've even got a Block 3 in here as well. So yes, very nice indeed. So some good stuff with those. So I actually haven't properly looked at this one yet. It literally turned up this afternoon. So we'll have a proper look at that one. I think there's an IBAN on the back there for people who want to pause and have a look at that one. But basically that's all the Super Hornet family. So I haven't actually got a reference book on that particular type. I've got reference books on the Legacy Hornets, but not those. So that's what we were looking for that one. So really, that was my sort of week. Look out for obviously those builds coming along. They will all be along with you very, very soon. So who wants to go there? Who wants to go first? Hands up. Go on then.
I was just ordering some Sharpie pens off Amazon.
Oh, well, yeah. Right, there you go. Quick, do that before the Flory effect comes
I've
in.
done it. Right, I've been working on this thing, which is fair, but just needs weathering now. All the wheels are done. Just needs putting together weathering, and then that still comes apart, so I can put the glass inside it when it's done. It's been because it's 1/10 scale and it's tiny. It's a nice little build. It's nicely detailed and cracking little thing. But yeah, apart from that, then I've been doing lots of invoicing.
Yes.
So I can send things out to people from the shop, SR-71s and Mandalorians and F-80s and Zeros and lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. And just one plug. can remind people that if you want to get stuff delivered before Christmas, you need to have your orders in before or by Monday.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Raw mail say Tuesday, but Monday is the
It's preferable.
yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not even sure whether Matt at work Tuesday. I don't know.
Pass. Who knows? Law unto himself.
I don't work Monday. Say Monday might not even be at work Monday.
It is very good. Right, John, what have you been up to this week?
Right, let's just switch camera a minute. Hopefully, so the 190 that I started for the turkey shoot is complete.
Very nice.
It's the I suppose it's safe to call it the old Tamiya kit now, isn't it? Because is it 98 or something like that?
Yeah, knocking on.
Years old.
Yeah.
But a really nice kit, to be honest. I was quite impressed with it, other than the decals. But yeah, she's all done.
Very nice. Looking very, very good indeed.
And then I've not had a lot of bench time really, so I've just been pottering around with the Stuka.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, nice big sink marks in all the props.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to fill them and sand them down and generally just do a bit of clean-up work. But that's about it.
Very nice. Very, very good. So when are you got a particular plan of action for the Stuka? Are you going to be sort of throwing yourself into it in the new year? Or is it going to be a slow burn, or are you going to do it in stages?
Yeah, it's going to be as and when, really.
Mm.
Just a little filler in between, you know. We've obviously got the group build starting in a couple of weeks and the new SIG, so it's one of those projects that's just going to be in the background and just do a little bit every now and again, really, rather than get too involved with it.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Everyone's in chat's buying Sharpie pens, just saying.
But I get them.
And Nathan, what have you been up to
Right.
this week? Hold on, why's Nathan got a Christmas thing? Hold on, he's got a thing. Let me try and get rid of that. That's probably me as the host. There we go.
Right.
Right.
My turkey sheep tornado is on hold.
Mm-hmm.
No other reason that what I'm doing is I'm getting these ones to catch up. So I've got 3 Revell tornadoes on the go at various stages of construction. So it's a bit like Broughton factory around here at the moment with these things going on. Doesn't look like I've done much, but actually once you get these 2 halves done, it's not long. So rescribing and filling on that one. And just while I'm sort of having a break from the tornadoes, this one is kind of nearly finished, but I think I need to pre-shirt. I've started the weathering, so I've just done a little bit of work on the exhaust. Not much at the moment, but I think some oil work to come on this one. And this is the Edard one, 72 scale Edard Hellcat.
So when you finish that one, Nathan, how many is that you finished this year?
No, I think probably about 20 or something. Well, we'll have a look through the thing next week, don't we? I've lost track, to be honest.
Mine won't be long.
Yeah, in the
plan is
defence
to
now,
get-
you've got quite a good excuse.
True.
I think I'll try and get the Hellcat finished for the end of this year, and the tornadoes are going to tip over to next. I just need to break up the blue a bit.
Nathan's only allowed to build 1/24th scale stuff next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, he might do actually, because if he starts on his project, it might take him a year to finish it.
I'm going to do 1 4th scale, 1 9 G6. Yeah. In between other things.
Very nice. Well, I must admit, my build list this year, I didn't think it was that good until I actually had a tally up, because I was trying to work out for the last show of the year and all the rest of it, and sort of going back and having a look. And yes, it is quite impressive, really, considering you think with COVID and the live shows and all the other stuff you did as well. So, yeah, not a problem with that one. Cool. Anyway, right, tonight's conversation which we decided to talk about, was obviously for the group builds, starting obviously with the 70s one for next year, is starting obviously on the 1st. So if anyone's got any quick questions about that one, post up in the chat. If one of you can keep an eye on it and we can sort of answer them in there. But Nathan, do you want to just give us the overview of that one if I put the screen up so they can see about the plan for the 70s one?
Yeah, I mean, this one, rules-wise, it's quite straightforward. It was anything that was operating in the 70s. So if it was in service or being used in the 70s, then it's okay.
Yes.
So it's just we just tipped over the 60s theme one, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it's just literally the same rules as the 60s ones copied up. So prototypes are permitted as long as they're like 100% complete.
Mm-hmm.
But we're looking at anything really, military, civil, anything from the 70s. It's a massive range. You've got Vietnam War, tail end of it, haven't you, in the 70s?
Mm-hmm.
And then some pretty cool movie theme ones, maybe, if you want to do something like that.
Yeah.
Or an Austin Allegro.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That popped up on my bloody Facebook, YouTube the other day for some reason. I think it's where we were talking about it and it zoned in on it. So I was like, why is that even up there? But yes, so it's an interesting, obviously, first group build. Again, the year or the decade ones that we've been doing, they've always been very popular. So again, you can think pretty much out of the box with that. So you can think of just anything that was part of that particular, decade. So it may be, say, car manufacturers from that type of thing, or vehicles, obviously civilian, but obviously you've got military. So it can be military aircraft as long as they're in service in that point and all the rest of it. Obviously you've got conflicts and theatres and things like that go along with it. Obviously, clearly you've got the space race was proper on in those days, wasn't it? And various things that were going on with that. So there's a lot of different options if people want to, get involved with those ones and go through. So that's a nice beginning to the year where hopefully we've covered everything into that one. So, that's the thing for it, isn't it? We want to make it as open to as many people as possible to get involved with and stuff like that. So Vauxhall Vera, crikey.
David says, would a 1970s hippie bus be allowed for this group build? Yeah, but not one you've already built.
Yeah, you can't just enter it again. So, yeah, Star Wars, obviously if you wanted to go in with anything like that for 77 as well. So, yeah, again, when you think about these things, I know sometimes people say to me about, I don't know what I'm going to build. Just think about it. There's a massive scope of various things you could actually do. And in some ways, it's probably harder because you have so much. You're thinking, what could I do? Because, there's definitely a lot of options out there and things like that. So, yes, I think it'd be quite an interesting one, really, at the end of the day. It's a big scope, big field, civilian, military. As I say, you can do naval stuff, lots and lots of things going into that one. So think a little bit outside the box, though, because they're the interesting ones. So, an Austin Princess in gold. Is everyone going to be doing cars? Does anyone do a kit of that?
I think people are just reminiscing of their 70s cars, aren't they?
Yes.
They said there was some good James Bond films, weren't there, in the 70s as well? And, What was that one? Just flying the thingy copter thing.
Oh, Little Nelly?
Yeah,
no, that was 70s. That was 60s. That was Connery, wasn't it? That was late 60s.
Right.
Don't know. But Star Trek, as I say, you've got all the different genres out there. So again, when you start to think about it, you can, it gives you really, really good scope for it. Generally, as you say, the rules and all the rest of it are pretty much the standards as we always do. It has to be an unstarted kit. You can't enter it in multiple things either, just to cover that one, because I know what's going to happen. Some of the flashpointy things happened around about that time. So if you're entering it, obviously, into a group build, you can't enter it into a SIG, because obviously the SIGs are going to overlap with it a little bit as well. So, just keep it to one group build or into a SIG, or whichever one you're going to be doing it. But you can't enter in both, to the point of view of that. And obviously, yes, got to be good. So, sorted. Anybody want to add anything else in there?
I think there's no medals this year.
Yes, no medals this year. You're all going to get a virtual pat on the back.
Yeah, and we're doing we're doing something for those better build threads, aren't we? So we're looking to take a step away from 1, 2, 3, wait a couple of days, done.
Yeah, it's not 1, 2, miss a few, 99, I finished it. So
better build threads, not better builds.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not the build quality. It's
yes,
the
it's nothing
thread.
to do with the actual build itself. It's how you present it and your interaction, shall we say, with the forum and the things like that as well. So that's the thing. And obviously what we'll do is collectively as a team, we'll put our heads together one evening and pick out the winners. And then obviously they will be getting bits and pieces and things as well, and some goodies and the usual bits and pieces like that. But it is not on the build quality of your finished model or anything else like that. It'll be on the quality of your build thread. That's how we're doing it next year, in a way, sort of, to give you a little bit of a tease of what it is. So what I'll probably do is things come along through that 6 months of the build, I'll stick them to one side and then we can split them up between everybody.
Yeah, and pictures with smartphones are fine. We're not looking for pro.
Oh no, that's it.
Pictures. It is literally just the story that's coming across the build thread. We don't, if the pictures are just off a snap off a smartphone, that's fine.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I do all my photography of all my models with my smartphone. Because I find it's better than my big camera. And by the time I've got the big camera out and all the rest of it, I could have done it on my phone. So yeah, don't worry about that too much. At the end of the day, as I say, it's just the quality of it and how much sort of time, because obviously we have guys and they put in a lot of time into build threads and things like that, and that's really what the entire this is about. It's not just getting a medal at the end of it. It's about obviously being a community and a group working together for the common goal of releasing it. And do you know what? Hella's done look a princess.
I didn't even know.
I didn't even know that was out.
Shouldn't it be brown?
Yeah, that needs to be a proper, what they call it, bronze brown. We were talking about on yesterday's show, weren't we? That horrible brown colour they used to do.
They got authentically rusty wheel wells on that kit there. Look at the wheel arches.
What, and the door cards falling off and a big saggy roof lining as well. There you go. For people who are watching, there it is. Wow. Who knew? Good old Hella. You can always depend on them.
That's what we as a country were making in the 1970s.
Pinnacle of British manufacturing. Sadly, it was though, wasn't it? That's the sad truth.
Dear oh dear. It does make you wonder where we were going at that point as a nation, wouldn't it?
That was about.
I think Fernie, Germany was producing luxury quality cars and all the rest of it. America obviously pioneering with the motor trade and all the rest of it, and what we were still basically hand building, coach building cars and putting them together badly. But so yes, there we go. Look, Leyland Princess as a jam sandwich as well. Who knew these things existed? Clearly I didn't. I must have missed this one over the last few years. Interesting stuff. Definitely. Oh god, he's got Russell's putting up a full build now.
Chase.
Hey?
I'd love to see that in a high-speed chase.
As it wallows round the corners.
Yeah. It wasn't really chasing much fast, was it?
It's in a straight line down the motorway.
To be honest though, what would it be chasing? Something
It could be a
equally
road 3.5
rubbish.
litre road or something. Road 3.5 litre, but
Well, yeah.
yeah.
As
But then
I
they had
say.
them as well, didn't they? So
Yes. Or a nice Ford Granada. That's what you want.
yeah.
Anyway, so yes, so that's that one that is obviously starting at the beginning of the year. Sorry, there we go. Is in there as well. And then obviously the first SIG of the year that's going to be starting in January is the Flashpoint one. So again, Nathan, take it away.
Right, what we're looking for this one is, just to put a bit of a twist on it, to be honest, was short wars or conflicts or countries falling out. Cuban Missile Crisis counts for this as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the only sort of qualifier is the war, if you want an umbrella term. The war is 12 weeks or less.
Yes.
So I know the Cuban Missile Crisis wasn't a war or anything really. It was, but that would be a good example of sort of a flashpoint. So basically anything that involved the Israelis seems to qualify, doesn't it?
Yes.
Falklands War, Gulf War, first and second Gulf War. Anything that's just a short conflict. But just do a little bit of Googling just to check it's sort of 12 weeks or less.
It was our way of shoehorning in the Falklands anniversary, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we thought the Falklands was a bit too narrow, didn't we?
Yeah.
But it covers loads of stuff when you start looking. I've changed my mind about 3 or 4 times on this one. But if you're into your Middle Eastern conflicts, they're all pretty much short wars, aren't they?
Again, at the end of the day, it's one of those things. If you do sort of think about it, obviously we've described there the was it Yom Kippur War?
Yep.
And things like that. But as I said, if it's a short duration conflict, isn't it what they call it, an SDC?
Yes.
That's really where we're going with this one. So obviously, say the examples that we got down there is obviously the Falklands War, and obviously we've got the first Gulf War, Suez Crisis, Yom Kippur, and the Zanzibar War. We show 45 minutes. Okay, so that's the other one as well. But again, like we were pointing out, it doesn't count as if it's a battle in the middle of a campaign. So you can't do, like we said there, Market Garden, because obviously that was part of the wider World War II. So it has to be a standalone conflict that goes through. So some of you probably, who read books and are up onto this type of thing as well, you might get some good ideas and inspiration out of things like that. If not, what's it called? Valley of Tears?
Yeah.
There you go. If you need inspiration and you want to build a Centurion, you just watch that. There's a really badly dubbed one. There you go. John's got the actual the one. So he's cheating. So yes, very nice kit that is too. So if you want to do something like that, then obviously knock yourself out on that one. That's going to be the one. As always, that one's only going to run for 4 months. So that's going to run from the 1st of January to the end of April. So that'll finish on the 30th of April. Whereas obviously the actual group build one will run from until June the 30th. So that's going to start on the 1st of January and is going to run right the way over with that particular one. So yes, good job. Anybody want to add anything to that?
No.
Nope, we're all good. Right, so not forgetting obviously the ones that are going on at the moment. So the ones that we got going on at the moment, which hopefully you're all running through to finish off, as we see down in here. So we've got 167 people who are doing the Out of Africa one. So you got to the end of the month for this one. So if you have got a bit of time off over Christmas, you can carry on and finish off your ones there. So we've got 77 completed down in there as well. So that's our final group build of the year. And obviously it'll be the final one where everybody gets a medal, or anybody who wants a medal will then obviously do it, because I'm going to ask this time if anybody wants a medal or not on that, because obviously the troubles that we've had getting them into Europe really down in there. And then obviously John's build.
Yeah.
John.
Yes.
You're
I can't believe
yes
how many people have actually taken part in, how much interest there's been in that.
I was going to say, so 180 builds in there, and we've got 64 finishes down in here. Pick one, John, and we'll have a look.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look at a MiG-21. I like a MiG-21.
What, this one here?
Yeah.
This is from David. Oh, very nice. Got a shark's mouth.
Shark's mouth on it. That's a winner.
There you go. Very nice indeed.
Nice. That's their pictures and stuff.
It is very nice. Nice close-ups as well. That's what we like to see. And again, I take it that's the Edard one. Yeah. But again, this is a classic example. I know I bang on about this, but I thought that was 48th. It's only where I've just gone up there that actually that's 72nd. So that's a dinky one.
Mm-hmm.
Just goes to show one is the quality of the build, because actually fantastic. But that's 72nd scale, people. Brilliant. Very nicely done. Good stuff. Because actually I saw that and thought, 48th, that's really nice. So there you go. 72nd. I tip my hat. Very nice indeed. Very good indeed. Let's have a bit of Russian armour as well from Ian. There we go. Solid tyres. So what have we got here? This is the Copper State models. The Russian RB armoured car. 135th scale.
They do some really nice World War One stuff now, don't they? Or
Yeah.
between the wars, between the wars, armored car stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit agricultural looking.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
I've never had a Copper State models kit. I've seen some and they look really nice.
I've got a few of their aircraft. I'm not going near their vehicles.
Yes.
Nice feather, didn't it?
Very, very nice. Oh, lovely diorama.
Oh,
Very
wow.
nice. There you go. Is that because the wheel fell off? You thought, stuff it, I'll make a diorama. Look at that. Fantastic. Very nice.
Cool.
Lovely snow effect as well. Very nice.
Yes, cool that.
Very good. I'd say nice photos as well. Nice, good photos. As I say, if you know, just a quick one here, because sometimes obviously when I do the Friday roundup show, I always try and pick a photo that shows everything. So then that way people can zoom in and things like that on your smart devices and that to go have a look at the close-up things. So if you are taking photos of your vehicles and things like that, and planes especially, make sure you put in a shot with it as an overall. So I can normally, that shows as much as you can. So slightly higher and a diagonal is always ideal and things like that. So always so I can get those in for the actual reveal ones.
Just in a chat, David says he wished that MiG-21 was at 48th when he was building it.
I bet. No, he's done a fantastic job on that. And let's just have something else. What we got? A Russian battle cruiser. Wow. See, some really nice stuff in here. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, this one's quite cool.
Very nice. Sorry, who was this? Get this in. Stefan.
It's nice, isn't it?
Inspiration
Yeah,
for me.
this one the other day. That's cool.
Look at that. Very, very nice indeed.
It's good, isn't it?
That's beyond.
They're always a bugger to take pictures of boats.
Oh, they are. To be honest, that's probably the best angle I think you can do with a ship.
Done well to get it all in one shot.
It all in like that. Because it sort of shows it quite nicely and you can see the superstructure. Because if you do a side-on shot, it's a bit like looking through a letterbox. Yeah. And so if you can get a bit of diagonal and a bit of height so you can see the sort of top deck.
Nice detail.
When I see completed photos, I always think, I'd really like to have a go at a ship. And then I'm at a show or whatever, I'll get a kit and open the box and have a look and straight away put the lid back on and put it back on the shelf.
Yes.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
The railings that just...
It's even got crew.
Yeah.
It's got little crew. Little figures and the railings.
The railings are the ones that get you.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Very nice.
Nice work on the rust and the weathering as well.
Yeah, no, very nice indeed. So, sorry, Stephen. Sorry. Very nice. Good job. So, yeah, and again, what we were talking about here, it's always nice to have a little bit of extra info. So, again, it's got the details of the real thing as well. So, that's always nice just for references and stuff like that. So, yeah, good job. So, yes, good one in there. We just go back and one more. We'll just have a BMP because everyone loves a BMP from Mark. There we go. Tell you what, you see these things in the museums, don't you? You wouldn't want to be in the back of one of them.
That's the one they got at Cosford, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
BMP one.
They've got one down at Bovington as well, haven't they?
The bonkers place. They've got fuel tanks, haven't it?
Oh, my lord. Yes, you wouldn't want to be travelling round in one of them.
Maybe the theory was that they'd never retreat, so you put a fuel tank at the back, it'd be all right.
Yeah, till you want to get out of it. The burning Hulk. So yes, very nice indeed. Good job as well. And again, very good information. That's the type of thing we're looking for as well on your actual group builds and SIGs. So yes, good job everybody. So again, what we'll do is obviously get all them all finished by New Year. Then obviously what I'll do is obviously I'll get it all moved around and put back in the usual places. I'll do the reveal videos for them, but obviously as they're all together, give me a bit of time with that one. And again, for the medals, what I'll do is I'll ask you each individually if you want one. Because obviously last time we had about 7 cents back through various reasons, and I understand it's that thing where obviously you get the handling charge if it gets caught in customs and various things, and some of you clearly didn't want to pay it, so then it comes back, but obviously you've got the cost of it and all the rest of it, so it will be the last one for that one as it goes through. So just keeping your minds on that one, please.
Chris says that the BMP beautiful when viewed through a 84 Carl Gustav sights.
Yes. So yes, good job. Right. So if we go over to questions, we have got Alan in Crete. He was basically following up from last week when we were talking about his fantastic buff. which is his B52, which is 148 scale, which is crudely mad. He says, "Hi Phil and team, many thanks for your comments about my buff build during last week's show. A few comments were raised about the size, so just to prove that I'm not a dwarf," I don't think I said dwarf, I said probably short person, because I don't think you can use dwarf anymore. "Here's my measurements of the model." So it's the model, not him. So apparently its length is 3'8", its wingspan is 3'9", and it weighs £3 11 ounces. So whatever that is in real money, I don't know. So yes.
It's a fair weight, that, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Now I understand why it's got that drawstring running through it to spread the weight and all the rest of it, so it's not hanging on one location. But yes, anyway, he says, "Thank you very much for keeping us all informed and entertained," and that's Alan in Crete. And then Steve points out that he says, "Mine's 9 inches and 6 inches around, and I'm not a dwarf." It's like, yeah, is it? That's all I'm going to say, is it? So anyway, Sam says, "Hi team, I've been looking for the master model brass barrels, because he wants to update the guns on his 48 scale HK Lancaster, but can only find the ones for the Mosquito. Any suggestions?"
I was looking at this earlier and I thought, well, just go on Annans.
Hmm.
I went on Annans and
They haven't got it.
no, not at all.
Does
I
no
don't
one
know
do
whether
it? Because obviously I did those ones for the B17.
Yeah.
Obviously they're
just-
Browning, so different guns, but
You don't just get generic gun barrels. It's the same gun.
yes.
Lots of different aircraft, isn't it?
What
But
guns did it have? Did it have
It used
Brownings?
no, it
No,
used
not Brownings. 303s, isn't it?
yeah.
303s, isn't it? So there must be 303 barrels on one of the gun. If you buy the Mosquito sets, it's going to get expensive, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because you need a lot, don't you? We got 2 at the front, 2 on top, 4 at the rear.
Yeah.
So
So I'm surprised they don't do a 303 Browning machine gun barrel. Send them an email. Ask them. Just because they're really nice. The people that run master models will pick up emails on their website.
because to be honest, I do love master models barrels, and I've used them. So I used them on the Mozzie, I used them on the B17, I've used them on a couple of things over the years because I just love the way they look beautiful in brass, let alone when you paint them. And I would have, I'm planning on building that kit next year. So when I do it, it's going to have them, or I thought it would have had them because I thought they did them. But if not, there must be other companies who do something like that. And he's now looking, look, I can tell that from the expression on his face.
I'm just thinking of other World War II British aircraft that
32.
that 48th.
48th.
Oh yeah, it must
Like
be.
Halifax or
Yeah.
Because I imagine what you're going to do is leave the gun, just cut the barrel bit off, aren't you, and attach them to the remainder
Yeah,
of
it's
the
literally
kit.
just the barrels, isn't it, to replace them.
I'd be tempted. I mean, the guys that run that master models are brilliant. I used to chat to them at Telford all the time. Send them an email. They'll probably say, "Yeah, we've got a set," or "We've got one coming out," or something like that. Just quick Google. 303, not 330.
Oh look, there you go. So master barrels, one of the guys has posted up. Sorry, I've just clicked on it. Now I've got a massive link. No, I don't want all of that on mine. My computer's just ramped up when I clicked on the link for eBay. Anyway, apparently Master do 48 scale Browning 303 7.7 Mark II with flash hider 4-piece set. But they haven't actually put the number of what it is.
Just come up on mine now, and that's the one. I think they've got it in the front of a Mosquito.
Right.
If that's the right gun barrel for a Lancaster.
So you're going to need 2 packs.
Yeah. 7 or 8 pounds.
Mind you, didn't they switch out the tail gun? What era is the Lancaster? Didn't they switch it out for 50s after a while? The 303s and just put a pair of 50s in there? Don't know. Now I'm getting technical and I'm well out of my weight on those ones.
They did put the guns in the back towards the...
towards the end. I know it was a late thing, wasn't it?
Thinking that set should be alright. Just send them in.
There you go. Dirk says in 1944 they switched to 50s. There you go. The part number is 48-026.
Yep, that's the one I've got.
Yeah.
I'd send them a quick email and just double check. See, that looks all right.
Chris just put up, I don't know if I can read that. I get in trouble. You guys get me into trouble because then I'll get some snotty email from somebody who's probably not a member saying, you shouldn't say things like that.
Well, Chris has started his summer holidays, can't we?
Yeah, that's it. Look, we can do one jokes like that next week when we've all had a drink. But I can't say it. I'll get in trouble. I'll get funny emails from people.
I'm using that one then. That's a good one.
That is a good one, though. I'm going to have to store that one. Right. So, yes, that's it. So I would definitely change them out, though. As I say, I always think barrels on aircraft is somewhat always a weak spot, no matter what scale you do. And as you know, next year I'm doing some big stuff, including a 24 scale Hurricane. And I've already ordered, which Andy's probably seen, go through, is the big gun barrel sets and everything for that particular kit and all the big, the bits and pieces, because I don't think you can really, it's one of those areas where it makes a big difference, because guns, obviously if they're hidden things like the cannons on a Spitfire, it's not so bad, but if it's an open type gun and got any type of flash hiders on them and mechanism stuff, then they stand out. And to be honest, the classic is on those Brownings that, it's 50s that are on the B-17, they are well worth the money because it makes a big difference, not to mention it's covered. How many's on that? So it's 2, 4, 6, 7 on that one, so yes.
Yeah, I put them on my 32nd Hurricane, and you can definitely tell, you see them, so you need them sort of for test 124.
Yes, definitely. Okay, Sam says, hi team, I've been looking, sorry, no, we just had that one, sorry. This is David, he says, hi guys, with Revell bringing out the 48 scale SR71, do you think there could be a chance for 48 scale YF12A? Maybe on the way too. I would love to get one. Testers did one many years ago. Shivers. But yes, I can't see it. Me and Andy were talking about this before, weren't we? Because obviously it's an entire front end and the wings and bits as well, isn't it? So it's not straightforward.
The way Revell have made it is that the nose section is separate, but it needs to be different. So like further back, and where the wings sort of round off on the SR71, they go to the nose, don't they? On the YF12, it's sort of like cut in before at the cockpit, and it'd mean whole new wings and it's all kit basically, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see it, because also as well the YF12A project was a bit of a non-start from the start, wasn't it? So but obviously with the SR71, the Blackbird just flying normally around was very much a long done thing. So yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. Let's face it, getting second generations out of kit manufacturers these days seems to be taking forever, let alone something like that. So I wouldn't have thought so, but you might find somebody does a conversion set for it where you just chop the front off and put it in and do some things to it. So never say never to that type of thing. So
I've got it in my mind that they built 3 prototypes. I'm sure it was 3, but yeah, nah.
No. And he says, this is Paul, he says, evening all, staying on the SR71 theme, have you got any tips on how to make an all black jet look the business? He says he's got the Revell F117 Nighthawk to build, and it's all over black, but flat panels rather than the SR71's sleek body.
You did the F117, didn't you?
I did, yes. Yes, that's a video build. I think it's even not, I don't know actually, is that on the free to view bit? I don't know, hold on, let me check. Where are we?
Or the underside of your Halifax?
Yes, or as you say, I've done some, work with black stuff recently, because obviously we did this little lady as well, just whilst it's here, and I'll go off looking for the other one. So obviously we did the, there we go. So again, you can break up the black for high-speed type black looks, and you can sort of do it this way to give it that type of look. But obviously, if you're after a more of a flat black, but don't forget the F117 does weather, like most things do. But that's how we did her with that one, with all the blacks. So again, you've got choices. Obviously with this one you're doing sort of heat marks, so that's why we used the riveting lines and all the rest of it with the light wash in there. But we broke up the panels to make it looking, stop it looking just over the top as well, down in there. But again, if you go in for other things, as you say, all recent, we've done,
It's a Tamiya one, wasn't it?
yes.
62 black underneath.
Yeah,
Halifax.
the ME262 was black underneath as well, which was more of a, where is it? Here we go. Again, so it's this thing about you don't use black. You always just try and do an off shot of black. I often say it, don't use black. So you use, in this case, if you are using black, you're going to mix in little hints of grey, green or blue into it, just to nudge it off of being in your face, dead flat black. And then obviously with this one, you can use washes. In this case, we used oils and various things as well, just to sort of, lighten it up and to weather it really, to go through the sort of motions of it. So you've got that sort of black look. But the SR71, it really is more of a really dark grey. Where are we? Where is the SR71? Oh, there it is. So hopefully we'll have some pictures in here. Oh, we do have pictures. So yes, here we go. This is the one that I did. So again, in this one, if I remember rightly, we even put a little bit of browns in it. Just because we were trying to give it that dead flat finish right the way over and trying to weather it in as well. On this one, if I remember right, this one is still up at the unit. We found it in a box, didn't even know it was up there. So yeah, so again, it's just this thing of like just trying to, again, you're going back literally, this is over 10 years old, this build now. So when we were doing it, I was just trying to give it that really heavy ram look paint job, which they had back then, which was really thick on them, and it gathered dirt and grubbiness really, really quickly to give them almost a dusty look. And that's what we sort of did with this one. But the video builds up there. You can go back and watch through and see how I put that one together. Because again, I've still got that Jeep actually. I found it the other day. But yeah, generally, as you say, this is the Tamiya kit, which is a little bit nicer, I think, than the Rebel one. But there you go. So that's what we're doing here. We're trying to break up that colours by coming in with other shades over the top. So basically you're doing post shading with blacks over the greys. So you can see it in here. So it sort of shows through and all the rest of it. But the whole point is you're just trying to keep it subtle. So, that's how we went through with that. But yeah.
I think guys in chat saying they things like NATO black and things like that, rather than in black.
Again, it's one of those an area where as long as you don't use black, like rubber black is my favourite I use, because again that's got that sort of blue into it. NATO black's got like a green hue into it, so as long as you stay away from just like XF1 black or LP1 black and things like that, and you move it through. But what you can actually do is just put hues of colour either in your mix of paint as you're putting it on, or post shade over the top of it quite thinly, and you can just subtly break it up. And it's one of those things where it's very difficult to see it on camera, but in reality when you're looking at it and you're moving around, you can see the hues come through a little bit better. But obviously when you take a photo, that's a still photo, you can't really see what's going on with it. But yeah, again, it's one of those ones where practicing with it, playing with it, and then afterwards, don't be frightened to come in and just put very thin layers of things over as well. If you thin the paint, and we talk about it on this to be honest, we're doing the post shading. If you thin the paint a lot, you have to put a lot down to be able to see it. So you can make complete cock-ups and go over different colours and things like that, because again, it's not going to cover it in one, but you're just changing the hue and you're building it up. And say when this video comes out, it'll probably make a lot more sense. I talk about layering. So like I say, that if you've got a layer of paint on your model, that's your first layer. But then when you come in with post shading, that's another layer on there. So we've got 2 coats of post shading on this particular one. So that's 3 now. And with each one of these layers you go around, you make depth, and it's a field of view as well. So when you're looking at it, you're seeing all these levels, and it just makes from a scale effect. And when you're dealing with solid colors like black, especially, it's really difficult to get that sort of depth of field into it to make it look interesting over all the different areas. But if you can, and then you come in again with like washes, and then we put clay washes onto it, then we've done like a bit of a filter type thing over the top of this as well. So now you've got 6 or 7 layers, and you're seeing each one of those layers. It gives it more of a depth thing. And like we were saying about, you know, classic examples, that 72nd MiG that we just seen, it's very difficult to know what scale that is, you know, without having something next to it. So I assumed it was 48 scale, but it's 72nd. So that's the type of thing you're looking for. And again, when you're dealing with solid overall colors of black, or white even, and things like that, to break them up. So the same as we did the underside of like the Vulcan, just trying to make it a little bit different, so your eyes moving around instead of just looking at technically a cheese wedge that's black. So yes, okay. Yeah, as Chris says, if you have a look at the ME262, talks about black finishes on the underside again. The Halifax, we did it. Look at the what was it called, X15, because that was all black as well, and then we broke that up before we did all the different panels and things like that as well. Just thinking else, what else we got in black in here? Airwolf don't count. So yes. Steve says, hi Phil, I was sorry to hear you say that the sub didn't get much love. I think it shows that people don't realise that you teaching them transferable skills. There was a lot of build, filling, sanding, tuition that could be applied to aircraft fuselages too. Not to mention the weathering black. Oh, there you go. Have a look at the sub. That's a good one, because the sub being all black as well was a masterclass with the weathering. It also applies to World War II bombers and night fighters. So there you go. Have a look at the sub, which is now in my display case as well, because obviously with that one we talk about using black, and then I use a couple of different shades of black, and also we put blue into it using black dark blue, which is what Tamiya's very dark blue. Whichever one that one was, XF17 it's got on that as well, to really knock it into it. And then obviously when we were using oils and things like that afterwards, just changing the colours of it as well makes a real big difference to it, so you can break up the colours.
We've said it before, though, haven't we? Like when you build in, say, a 32nd Tamiya kit, and people will say, well, I'll never build that, it's too expensive. But it doesn't matter what you're building, it's the process of building it that's the same, whether it's a 72nd scale kit or a 32nd scale kit. It's all the same. It's all like, yeah, the filling, the painting, the weathering, it's all the same. It's just, you know, on a different scale, isn't it?
I think like this is a classic example, really, like doing the Spitfires. We've done this one to weather it up in this way. If this was a 48 scale or a 72nd, there's no way I could show you, because you need to look at it yourself, because it was bad enough. I was doing some exhaust work on this and you'll see it. I couldn't see it because I'm looking at it on the screen. So I felt like one of these surgeons when they're doing it that way, because if I put my head in, couldn't see it. So I'm literally, and because of it was the reflectivity of the oils as well. So I'm literally on here and I'm like, okay, we're doing it like this because it's the only way I could see. And that's on a 32nd one. So to try and do it obviously on something really, really small is very, very difficult. But this, what we did on here, is exactly the same as I would do on a 72nd, a 48th, or anything over the top as well. And obviously up to sort of 24th scale and bigger. It's exactly the same process. It's just that obviously you're doing it in smaller areas. And then sometimes, like I do explain on this one as well, that if you're doing tiny little areas and you're getting smaller than you can cope with. So for instance, on this one, we post shaded it with an airbrush, but like I explained, and you can see the other video of when I did it on the 72nd Hurricane, you could do it with oils as well. So you could literally just pop along and put a bit of oil in between each panel and just lighten it as well, just to give it that sort of, you know, sort of look, if you like, that we've achieved on this one. Because it's easier to do it on a paintbrush with a magnifier on than it is with an airbrush when you're dealing with tiny, tiny scales. So yes, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lee says, hi Phil and team, I was considering buying a newish airbrush and compressor, and at the moment I've got a cheap one from Amazon. What would you and the team think? I've got 150 quid to spend. Definitely.
I bought one of them
Yes.
for about 110 quid.
Yep.
Use the compressor you got at the moment, save about another, what would you have left? Say 50 quid, 40 quid left. Save another 150 quid or 160 quid and get a
Sparmax
Sparmax
HT610C.
Yeah.
or whatever it is. Yeah.
But the main thing that's going to affect your airbrushing is the airbrush. Not the air that's going into it. It does to a certain effect, but not as much as you think. So I just get a new airbrush. These Procon Boys, fantastic.
So that's the Procon Boy, the one that we've got. That's the 270 with a 0.2 needle set into it. I have mine now for a couple of years. I swear by it. Never swear at it, which is good.
PS270. John's got the more expensive one, but
because he's posh.
I'm sure even John would say it's probably not worth the extra money.
I don't know. I do use it quite a lot for detail work and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a godsend for that modelling.
I bet.
But my daily runners are Iwata HP something.
Yeah.
And
That's what I do.
Nathan's still on his Evo.
Sorry?
We need to have a whip round for Nathan because he's still on an Evo.
I keep meaning to buy him a new. I want to buy him a new back for it.
I've got it, but I just, you know what? I prefer not to have it on. Don't know why. Just never put it on.
Oh dear.
So if he cuts down his needle, we'll end up with one like this. The noisy cricket.
Cool one. I don't know why. I don't see the point of the back of the airbrush. It's in here somewhere. Because I have, to be honest, I do use it.
Thing is,
I lock it. It's got the thing at the back where it locks.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm still using an Evo because it still works. When it comes time to maybe do a full needle nozzle replacement, I might switch, treat myself to something.
Yeah.
But
it is difficult.
can't get that draw back in there.
It is difficult to recommend with airbrush, isn't it? Because they're very much a personal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, you know, with cars, isn't it? Are you a Ford man, or
I think it's
might
something.
prefer BMWs? It's a very personal thing.
I mean, I've got those cheap compressors from Amazon.
Yeah, but say you use a cheap one, don't you, from Amazon?
I use that. I can reach it without breaking the thing. Mine's in a garage, so there is a little bit of a problem with tanks and moisture. So I've got one without a tank on it. No, I can't get it out. It's stuck. So my compressor was a cheap one, and there's nothing wrong as long as it shoves out air. That's all you need, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think that's the thing as well, is that compressors these days, unless you've got one of those little diaphragm ones that overheats in about 10 minutes and you have to wait 4 hours for it to cool down before it unlocks itself, you're fine. As I said before, we've had people talk about compressors and various things. Modern compressors, you don't get any, putting, as I call it, the old diaphragm going put, 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 so you get the pulse going through. I haven't known an airbrush do that, for years. And also, if you've got a longer hose, you can get rid of that. If you've got a short hose, you'll feel it, but it will sort itself out as it travels down the hose. But any compressor, it doesn't matter if it's one of these with or without a tank, you'll be absolutely fine. As long as it can deliver like 25 psi, 30 psi ideally, you'll be absolutely fine. Your airbrush though is where you can make quite a big difference. And again, the reason I've been championing, I suppose, and I did make a big switch for 15 years of having this site and talking about it, I've been pushing the Harder and Steelbeck range because I found them really easy to work with, purely because you could strip them down and clean them instantly. It was like a 2-minute job. It's very, very easy to do it. These ones are a little bit more hard work, but you don't have to. That's the thing. I never take the needle out of this thing ever. In fact, when I've had the new needle in here, it's never been out since it's been in, and I haven't touched the nozzle or felt the need to undo it. Literally, I put lacquer thinner through it and blow it through, and we're done. And we're good to go for the next time of spraying. So again, I think that's just testimony to the internals, the way the internals work, that don't mind. And again, I often spoke about the nozzle on basically Iwatas, and that's what this is. It's an Iwata. The nozzle's very, very small and very, very delicate. The plus side of that is it doesn't hold much paint, so you can't get it gummed up. And that's the trouble you find with I think the harder and steam bit, because the nozzle's massive. It gets a lot of paint in there, and you get paint build-up inside there, and then that paint build-up sometimes slips towards the tip, and then it bungs it up. The needle just clogs all up in there, and you're getting stopping and starting, stopping and starting. And again, for cleaning it out, it takes a lot to physically clean it out, where obviously with these ones, because it's a tiny little nozzle, there's not much going on in there, so you can clean it through really, really quickly. And again, I am, like my brushes, horrible to my equipment. To me, it's a tool. So I'm not going to be one of these people who's going to be like, you know, mothering it and all the rest of it, making sure it's clean, putting it away all nice and taking the needle out. I leave mine with paint in it over the weekend and come back and just blow it out on the Monday, and away you go. Can't do that with harder and steam bits, because otherwise it will take me 20 minutes to strip it down and do it. But these you can. So again, in some ways, I just think that for the money, especially, and if, you know, for 110 quid, I haven't seen anything that will perform like this for the same money up to 200 quid. You know, most airbrushes you'd be spending 200 quid to do what this will do for 110. You know?
Well, we've all got lots of airbrushes.
Yeah.
Too many airbrushes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that one's what, 200 odd quid, isn't it?
Well, it's about 260 quid now.
And I'd still use that one as my daily driver.
Yeah.
The Pro Convoy.
And the nice thing with this one as well, and I know I'm sounding like, I wish we sold these again, but obviously you've got the Mac valve that's built in. That's extra with everybody else's that I know. And then obviously you've got the lock off at the back as well, which I use a lot. You watch this video, tell you to put it on so you don't overspray. And so, you know, and that's a really, really handy features to have both of those built into your actual airbrush to go and away, you know, on there. And the Mac valve is one of these nice Mac valves as well. It's not like an on-off one. You know, you've got a lot of range of movement on there as well. And again, it's almost like a premium airbrush. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, if that was 200 quid, I'd still buy it. If it was 250 quid, I'd still buy it. But it's brilliant that it is so cheap. Because I have been saying I'm going to get another one in and just leave it in its box in the drawer. Because when anything went wrong with this, I don't know what I'd do. Because it's bad enough when I have to use the other ones for doing other jobs.
I suppose the other variable you've got as well is what you actually spray. I mean, we're lucky. We've all got sort of dedicated modelling rooms. We've got extractors, so we all use lacquers. But if you're not able to use the lacquers, possibly something like the H&S is probably going to be slightly easier for cleaning if you're using things like Vallejo and stuff.
It is, but I would have to say though, here on the side of caution, is that don't forget you shouldn't be spraying anything, because, you know, just because you can't smell it doesn't mean you ain't breathing it.
But what I'm saying, it's the things like Vallejo, the pure acrylics, they're the ones that you tend to have problems with spitting and clogging.
Yeah.
If you've got an H&S, it's far easier to strip down and quicker to do.
Yeah.
Than if you've got something that's, you know, like the Iwata.
But then I must admit, I put that stuff through this and it doesn't clog as much in this airbrush. And again, I still think that's because there's not a big enough nozzle and needle set in there that gets affected by it. You know, because there's just not as much going on. It can't sit in that well, if you like, of the actual nozzle. That's the difference, I think. I think they sit in there and it comes up. That's the trouble. So, but anyway, going slightly back on track. Don't worry about your compressor. If you've got a compressor, for that money, you can get one of them. So you get yourself a Procon PS 270 and away you go. Because you will, honestly, none of these have ever looked back. I've sort of bandwagoned them onto this one, admittedly, but I don't think anybody would go back now out of choice to anything else, would you?
Looks like the prices have gone up a bit. It's all about 135 quid now.
Oh, right, okay.
It's about 10%. Well, it's gone up about 10%.
Because it used to be 95 quid back in the day. That was the thing. Sub 100 quid. It was ridiculous. So
airbrushes have gone up a bit generally, haven't they? The H&S range are a fair bit more pricey than they used to be.
Everything has at the moment, aren't they?
This is it. It is. It's all gone a little bit crazy. But again, it's one of those things. Like, I'm sure the guys in there will post up what they're saying. So some of them have got, you know, obviously H&S airbrushes, which is probably down to me in a lot of cases. Grex airbrushes, absolutely. But again, that's the thing, is you always find people have something, and like we've often said, if it works for you, great. Don't change it. Don't change your paint brand just because we're using a particular type. Don't change your airbrush just because we're using a particular type. If it's working for you and you're getting on with it, honestly, stick with it. Don't be, put on to people to try it. And to be honest, sometimes I get stuff and I'll give it a whirl. It never makes it to camera or I talk about it to you guys because it's crap. So I'll just, that's it. It gets sort of swept to one side. But again, things that I will say are really good and I think they're good value for money, and that's definitely one of them. And I was singing its praises long before we did manage to get some, and then couldn't get any more. So good bit of kit on that one. So, and a lot of you got multiple airbrushes of everything, a bit like us. So
the shout outs for Iwata, Peter and Chris using Iwatas.
So that's the same. It's an Iwata at the end of the day. There's nothing internally different from that to the others. That's internal wise, it's the same. They're a licensed job on that one.
So there you go. Ask 12 modelers what's the best airbrush. You get 12 different answers.
Yep.
Yes, definitely. Right, let me just get rid of some of that. Okay, so next up, Chris is saying, hi team, following on my question yesterday about the Edard limited edition tornadoes, this was the kit we were talking about. So again, this goes on to carrying over from yesterday when we were talking about different kits, various things as we do on the PM show. And me, Matt and Andy were discussing obviously the limited edition that then turned into another limited edition, and now this limited edition's just come out.
Yeah, and we're sure this one's only available through the Edard store, that the 48th one.
Yes.
48th one was last time.
So this one comes with all the markings that I think are the same as last time.
Yeah, it is. It's just
there wasn't that many tornadoes down there, was there? So
That's
with
all.
those, and then you get some ladies doing things. She's on the phone. She's just picking up her helmet. Clearly, she's just forgot her top. And we got the lady who's been attacked by a dog.
Yeah.
So apparently they are, what size were these? A3. A size. So you get those in there.
I don't think they are. Yours were A3, were they, Nathan?
I'll go and have a look.
On the A5 postcard size.
It's A5 is postcard size. They're the ones that we put in for all the stuff. The Flory models ones.
Yeah. I'm sure what Nathan got were A5. I can't imagine them being A3.
So yes, it does say there though A3 size. So who knows?
I mean, it's what it is, isn't it?
But yeah,
Limited edition is obviously somewhat more loosely interpreted down at the Edard headquarters. I guess it's mine are big, huge posters.
Oh, they are big posters. Oh, right, sorry.
So yeah, and that's the 72nd one, yeah.
This is the 48th one that they did.
Oh, right. Because I was going to say, how big is the 72nd box?
You probably would get that in it.
Tell you in a second, because I've got one.
Oh, there we go.
Because they're rolled up, aren't they? I didn't realise they were rolled up. I thought they were little card things that you got.
So I think these are A5.
Yeah, I thought that's what you got with the pictures on them.
Yeah.
So A5 is half A4, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's that size, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Oh, hello. Coming through.
not to kill myself. Will these fit in this? I don't know. Let's find out. I mean, is it worth going out and buying another one for a few posters? I doubt it. Really.
What amazes me that the 48th ones went out of stock right away, didn't they?
They did say when this one came out that when the 48th one came out, they were postcard size, but those posters will fit in that box.
Yeah.
So I reckon they're the same.
I bet the same posters, yeah.
There you go. They will fit.
So perhaps it does come with them then. So yeah.
Awesome. But I mean, two of them are the nose art, and one of them's just a random lady on the phone who's lost her pants.
Somehow. Maybe she's bringing to find out where her pants are.
Yeah, she says, has anyone seen my
She's
pants?
phoning up to see. The Victoria's Secret asking if they do liver. It's cheeky, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. Again, we spoke about it yesterday, and if you want to see the full chat about this, just go back to yesterday. But I still think it should be, if you're going to do a limited edition, it should be known what that limited edition is. So is it 2,000 kits? Is it 3,000 kits? Is it 5,000 kits? It must be a hell of a lot, because from a company point of view, PM Models has shifted a lot of Tornadoes in 72nd scale. We did a hell of a lot in 48 scale. And that's just us, tiny little speck in the modelling, world and all the rest of it. We shifted a bucket load of those things. So it must be thousands, literally. I reckon it's got to be near 10,000 if that's a limited that they've done, which doesn't sound to me a limited edition when it's into that number, you know?
And I think it's just a bit naughty where they release it again.
Mm.
There's no way these are A5.
Hold on, mate. Let me put you on full screen.
So, protect the modesty and do it that way around.
Is that the one on the front? Oh, right, that's cheeky. So that's A3, isn't it?
I mean, that's an actual nose art from a Tornado, so that's quite cool. But the other one I think is as well. But there's no way these are A3, A5. These are A3.
I say we've sold at least 150.
Yeah.
1/72nd scale Tornadoes.
Yeah.
So you think they did the first run, then obviously the second run. Now we've got a third run of it. I don't know. It just seems to be a little bit naughty, I think, because again, like was been spoken about on yesterday's show, if you're a kit collector and you rushed out thinking, oh, it's a limited edition, I'll get it, then you find out that actually it's been re-released again with, maybe a poster thrown into it, and then now we've got another one with 3 posters thrown into it as well. If you're a collector, what you're supposed to do, get all 3? It's seems a little bit naughty to do that type of thing.
It's a bit. I mean, it's vaguely inspired by the nose art of the Tornado, the posters, but there's nothing else in there. It's just a couple of posters. It's what it is. It's
what
cheeky
does
though.
Mrs. Nathan think of you having naughty pictures?
Well, that's why they're rolled up and in the box.
Oh, right. She doesn't know. She doesn't go in the man cave. He's all right.
Can I just answer, Tim? That's the Special Hobby 48 scale Saab Figgin, and that's what I'm going to be doing for the 70s group build. There's a rather nice example in there of a display plane from some air show in 1978. So that's what that is.
With extras.
With I am cheating slightly. I will admit I've got
So he's bought a mask set for the camo.
The mask set for the camo.
That's not cheating. That's called protecting your sanity.
Yeah.
So you would go bonkers trying to do that yourself, wouldn't you?
But that's the idea with that one. That's for the 70s group build.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, at the end of the day, it's one of those things. It's like a case of, a lot of people say, oh, they'll be cheaper and all the rest of it. You always get that argument with kits when they're coming around in bulk. But yeah, I think, from my point of view, I think it's just very, very naughty of Edard to do that, to keep it coming. Limited edition. Yeah. You almost now, I must admit, I take limited edition from Edard with a pinch of salt, because you just don't know what it could be.
They've always done it, haven't they? Right from the word go with the hind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but we were talking about it yesterday. The only 2 we can think of where this has actually happened, where it's come back out again, is the Hind and the Tornado. We're not aware if they did it with any of the others, because we had some, when we started PM was when they started doing theirs, to be honest, and we had some massive sales off the bat for like the P40, because it came with the tin plate. That was limited, because to be honest, we sold all our allocation instantly because we didn't have that many in, and then we went scratching around basically the entire of the UK trying to get stock from everywhere we could find it, because we could shift it. And then obviously Dottie May came out, which was the next one, and then if you remember, the limited editions, as I would call it, the real ones, is when they did was it Sound of Silence? Wasn't that the A4? They did like dual ones with the artwork. They came with big thingies.
A4 in the MiG, wasn't it?
Yeah, they did a late, I think it's a Mark 24 Spitfire or whatever it is, or not, but no, probably not a 24, a Mark 12 or whatever it is, Spitfire, a Mark 14. Can't remember which one it is now. I think I've got another one of it down there somewhere. Where is that? Yeah, Mark 15, is it? I don't know, whichever one that is. Bubble Top, Rise of the Bubble Tops. It came with a big poster as well, which is a proper artist print. And again, those ones, I think it was, you were getting, a limited edition artwork, and they were hard backed as well, so you couldn't roll them up, and things. And those ones were really good. When they went. You just couldn't get any more. Coastal Command, wasn't it? That B-24, was it? Which was the Coastal Command one, the Liberator.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, that was one that was sold really, really well. Couldn't really get it for love nor money. And again, that was nice. If you were a kit collector, you could probably stick it up on eBay and, flog it now and probably make a mint out of it. So, but yeah.
Can I just get a quick one asked chat before I lose it? Roger Wilson says, any opinion of the Academy F-15E 148th, please?
Well, the F-15E, are you on about the F-15K? Because I didn't know Academy did an F-15E. I thought they did the K, which is the Republic of Korea's version of the F-15E. Was it?
Revel's always my first thought when it comes to the E.
Yeah.
I thought the only two that were out that properly did it anyway, was the Revell one.
And Hasegawa did that.
Yeah, but Hasegawa's isn't either. I think theirs is a B with some bombs and a fuel tanks on it. I don't think they actually did a proper version of it. And the Great Wall Hobbies one.
So my gut feeling, my first thought's always with the Revell one. You get a lot of plastic for your money as well.
Yes, you do.
The value kit, you can get it, presumably still. Chris is asking, is Eddard trying to be provocative? They have lady posters. They got in trouble for that many years ago for just random sexualized images. They stopped doing it.
Well, not being funny, Mig did as well, didn't they? In their magazines, they had lots of ladies in there, and I think there was a little bit of a backlash against that.
Yeah,
that
everyone complained about it, and so they put a bloke up instead, didn't they?
Yeah.
Did put fella in, I thought that was brilliant. Yeah. But they put zeros over Pearl Harbor and one and a half.
They did do an E.
Did they? Is that a proper E, or is it a reboot off of a B?
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never seen. I don't think I've ever had my hands on an Academy F-15. Never mind me, so I don't know what it's like. You have to tell us. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, Roger says he bought one yesterday.
So they've got it.
The only thing is, I would say, is if you're doing a 90s F-15, you'll probably be absolutely fine. But if you're doing a modern F-15E, then they're a slightly different beast because they've had lots of upgrades. So the cockpit is nothing like it used to be, but that goes for the C as well. If you look at some of the Cs now, they have this big, looks like an iPad stuck on them now, and things like that. So they've had quite a lot, and obviously the pods and things like that as well. They don't carry the old type of Lantin pod underneath now, they carry the sniper pod and things like that. So that's why in some ways the Great Wall Hobbies one is nice, because it's got the modern warfare stuff, and also it's got the small diameter bombs as well, which is the newer versions of, instead of them lobbing around 500 pound GPs and stuff like that, it's the smaller 250s and 150 pounds, which is a little bit more better.
It's 1989. The kit dates back from, so
that would have been definitely the prototype, because it didn't go into service until whatever it was. Was it 1990?
Well, it was released as a C in 1989, but then it just then new parts to make it into an E. So
just put a new front end on it for the two-seater. Yeah, probably the conformal fuel tanks. We had a thing about this a few months ago, talking about F-15s, weren't we?
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
Okay, so Chuck says, hello everyone, a question to answer Matt's question yesterday. God, did we have a question about the driving in the rain with the top down? Oh yeah, we were discussing idiots who drive cars in the wet with the roof down in England, because I was coming back from Cornwall on Monday morning, and it was I had a guy behind me as I was leaving a rooster tail in my car of spray, and he's behind me in a brand new MX-5, scarf, hat, literally almost goggles like this with the roof down, and then he overtook me. And it was like, really? You think you'd pull off and put the roof up? But apparently not. Anyway.
It reminds me of the time you come up this way, and it must have been closing up to winter time, and you went past the soldiers in the Jeep.
Yes.
Telford,
that was
Telford.
Telford, yeah. Yeah, that was it. He was just like that. He was in a brand new MX-5. It was 21 plate as well. It was like, really? You mad? Anyway, he says, at least, he goes, oh, hell no, at least not for us who live up here in Oregon in the USA. And that's why Oregons don't have tan lines. Well, that's pretty much near the top bit, isn't it? So it's probably cooler up there. For those we do see driving in the rain with their tops down, their license plates are from other states because they've got no common sense. Absolutely. That'll be it, Chuck. I totally agree. Down here, we were just saying that it seems to be that thing of getting your money's worth out of having a ragtop. You know, you have it down at every opportunity. But my point was, when I left Cornwall, to be honest, it wasn't raining. I got into Devon and it started to rain, and then it got really heavy, and then proper heavy. You know, it was right across the roads. If you were driving a convertible, I'd be off at the first junction or in the first lay-by or whatever there was, and get that roof up within seconds. I wouldn't just think, no, you know what, collar up, I'm going to keep going. Because you imagine your car must be destroyed inside. Either that or it wasn't his car.
Mustn't have been.
Thought about this afterwards. Perhaps he's repoed it or something, and he's like, well, it's not my car. I don't care. So, but yes, it just seemed a little bit crazy to be, having a brand new car like that and having your roof down.
Yep.
Okay, last question up is, we've got a couple in now, actually. Sorry, we've got a couple more. Andrew says, hi, just wanted to thank you all for your advice this year. Thanks to Phil for his blogs and reviews, and to the guys for all the speedy delivery of the orders. I used the trumpeter nippers and scrapers for the first time this week that I got from PM, and they work great. Thanks to Phil for his recommendations. Just a small question. Can you use methylated spirits to clean tape residue off clear parts? As I've been working on the windows of the Airfix Fiesta soon, but due to my disaster with such parts, I want to keep them as pristine as possible. Have a great Christmas and New Year. Do you know what? I don't think I even own methylated spirits.
No, I was about to say I can't say I've ever tried it on.
Tried it.
You buy it. You don't buy it unless you've got old camping stoves used to use method, didn't they? But
is that the purple stuff?
yeah.
I must admit, my dad had that because he had a railway and he used to literally onto a little bit of sponge for going around his track, and it stunk. I remember it well. Yeah. So.
Stop people drinking it.
Do it on a bit. Ooh, test that one first.
Put the purple stuff in, stop people drinking it, makes them sick.
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So that's what it is.
You still buy it? I've not seen it on sale.
Yeah, you can still buy it, yeah.
Don't you use it for cleaning brushes when you're decorating or something?
Yeah, but you just use brush cleaner. I mean, it's just alcohol, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it an alcohol, like a pure alcohol, is it?
Yeah.
To be honest, I must admit, it's only when reading that, I don't think I've seen it since I was about 10.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know how it would react.
Yeah.
Again, I would be very careful with clear parts and chemicals and stuff like that. To be honest, I usually just put a squirt of WD-40 on a cotton bud and then give it a wipe, and that does the trick for me. But yeah, just be careful with it. You don't want it it starts frosting your clear parts a year down the line because it's eating it.
Might be a bit hot.
Rob McCluskey says it's a good mixer with gin.
So right, quick one for opening it up to the chat, guys. Anybody use MEPS for cleaning up clear parts?
Carl's got some in the shed.
Just use it for cleaning your Sky Electric, so I'm doing it for that. Got some meths in the shed, not crystal.
Everyone's got it in the shed. Yeah, Tony says no. Don't purple mess useless.
Someone pop out the shed and try some on their 30-second Tamiya.
Yeah, very expensive kit.
Canopy and see if it follows or not.
Yeah, I'd want to test it on something that didn't matter first.
Yeah.
Just using it for. No one's used it for modelling.
Yeah, Russ said use it for mess for light and primary stove. Yeah, I remember doing that when I was in the Scouts.
Adam is suggesting go light and quick with the methods.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you can just get some WD-40.
I use WD-40 and it works for me. Literally, squirt WD-40 on a cotton bud and then just lightly give it a rub, and then it sort of, at some point, it just rolls up into a ball and wipes off, and you're fine. If you want to see it in action, watch when I screwed up doing the B-17's ball turret by using the plating, metal plating stuff, foil, bare metal foil, and trying to get that off. It just left all the glue behind. So I ended up giving it a rub, and it all came away beautifully without affecting anything. And that was sprayed over with extreme metals. So that would be a enamel finish, and it didn't affect it, so it was fine on that. And right, okay, Arthur says, hello all. First, thanks for all the hard work that you guys have put in the forum and website for us. Second, I might go a bit off topic for a moment. I'm currently reading As You Wish, Carl Ewan's, which is the making of the movie The Princess's Bride. Right, where are we going? Which I'm sure most of you know. Has anyone heard of this film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you? What's it about?
Never watched it though.
I'll put them on the spot. What's it about? I haven't.
It's
Princesses.
Is it?
It's like a fantasy film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. See?
Star Wars.
That's the one that had Andre the Giant in it, wasn't it? The wrestler.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No, never seen it. Anyway, it's filmed at locations all over the UK, and it mentions the tea breaks and one sandwich breaks required to film for the unions. Welcome to Britain. He mentions that the favourite sandwich eaten during these tea breaks was a chip butty. Here we go, we're back onto cobs and stuff again.
Yeah.
From the US of A, my first thought was, you've got to be kidding. Now I think, okay, so what is a chip butty?
Well,
First of all, let's explain what a chip is.
Yes, I was going to say, we need to put the difference between a fry and a chip.
Yeah, a chip is like a big French fry, rather than being an American chip, which is a crisp.
yes.
Right. So think of a big French fry. So you cut your potatoes into bigger chunks than thin ones.
Yeah, none of this skinny things. They're like your thumb.
You can either have 2 pieces of bread, put your chips in between, butter, slam it together, or you can have what's correctly called a cob.
Yeah, but hold on, we're back to this from last week. A cob I thought was a crusty roll, a hard one, because it's like a cobble, isn't it?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But it's a bap, because it's soft and squidgy.
Yeah, but
as
cobs
in
are
nice
well.
baps.
A bread roll with chips in, buttered, preferably because it all nicely melts into
It
the
melts
chips.
together, yep.
Then put your favourite condiments on.
So
red
ketchup
sauce.
or mayo or what you're into,
Mayo's a
curry
bit dodgy.
sauce.
Yeah,
So
slam it
it's
together.
basically a chunky French fry sandwich.
Yes.
Yes.
But just to throw something else in the mix, you can have a crisp sandwich,
Yes. Yes.
which would translate into a chip
Yes.
Yeah.
in the States.
But I don't think that's what they're getting at. They probably went to the thing and had chips and put them in for a proper
Yes.
chunky sandwich. So,
Yeah.
to be honest, they're not as in fashion as it used to be back in the day, was it? Because back in the day, I think, you know, before we got healthy and posh, you know, it was sort of, you know, your greasy spoon, coffee, chip butty, and off you went, wasn't it? Your little wagon off the side of the road and stuff. You could just do that. These days, it's all, you know, something on rye, vegan
fair,
special
One of my favourite meals is sausage, egg, chips, and beans.
in a
In a
bap.
Except everything's grilled. Everything's grilled. The chips are oven chips.
Yes.
But I always insist that I have at least a slice of bread or 2 slices of bread, so I can make myself a chip butty out of the chips that's on the plate.
Got to be done. Definitely.
I'm getting quite peckish now talking about chip.
This is it.
Yeah.
But it's been replaced now by a thing called a pasty. You need to have a pasty. This is the staple of this lot when they come here, you see. We all go off and get pasties. Has to
Do
be
a
done.
search for Ginster's pasty.
No, you're not allowed
Oh,
one of them because
God.
they've got zebra and like crocodile in it or
Oh,
something.
you heathen!
Also, we lost our local comedian hero from this part of the world. Poor old Jeffro Tull died yesterday of COVID.
Yeah.
Bless him. He probably would have seen the funny side in his defence. But if you want a giggle, and you can understand him because he's got quite a broad accent, shall we say, just put Jethro in, you know, YouTube or something, and you can come up with him. If you can understand him, that's a bonus.
Watch Pirates of the Caribbean first, so you get the lingo first, and then understand him.
Okay, where are we? Which one was that? That was Chip Butties. Okay, John saying, hello all. Many thanks for your contribution to keeping us all reasonably sane for the past 2 years. Thank you. It was my more than an observation than a question regarding the Revell Outland TIE Fighter that we just got in at PM Stores yesterday. The kit is a reboxing of an earlier kit with additional parts mounted to the body. This is what we were saying about this, wasn't it? So it can go into the landing configuration. However, the body and sails are included. So obviously for the original one with the stand. So with a little scratch building, you could make 2 from what's supplied.
All right.
So there you go. Question: if doing this, would it be better? Would it fit better into the 1970s or the Greeblies group build? Well, technically, if you did it as a normal TIE fighter, you could do it in the 70s one. And well, yeah, if you're going to scratch build it into the other version, as long as it's got some proper scratch building into it, that's what we're saying. We don't really just want to see, you know, you've added a couple of bits off of a kit that's half built there anyway. We're hoping for people to go proper into it, as in cutting things up and shunting things together and making scratch builders in brand new stuff. So I think you'd probably be better off with the 70s one.
I think so.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yep.
Everyone's gone quiet. Right.
Yeah.
Last up, Paul says, Merry Christmas to all the team. I'm just getting back into the hobby in my late 50s after what must be 35 plus year gap. My first build back following Phil's video was the Eddard's A4 Skyhawk, which is a great kit, which is actually a Hasegawa kit, which is a brilliant one. And it's gone okay. Congratulations and welcome back. For the next build, he wants to do the Tamiya 48 scale P51D. And I'd like to do it in the natural metal colour. What paints would you suggest I use? And is there a any recent video builds which use these paints? Ooh, loads. And you can point me towards what type of aircraft. Okay, honestly, from my point of view, I think extreme metals, which are these, are great because they're probably the easiest natural metal finish you can use. They're very straightforward, they're very, very forgiving, and they pretty much go over everything. So that's pretty straightforward with that one. As for ones to watch, bigger scale, obviously I used it on the B17. So if you have a look at that one, because obviously that's all metal, we used it in there. Just trying to think what else we used. I've done a couple of other things in different things as well. What have we done? The Starfighter as well, that's in there as well, which again is the Hasegawa kit, so a similar scale type object. And the, where is it? There it is. The Sabre, the F86 Sabre, which again is a Eddard kit, which we redid as well. So those ones all sort of show that in there somewhere. Hold on, I've closed all my tabs now. Any other suggestions, guys? Would you use something else?
The Tamiya lacquers are nice. The metals or the super metallics, the Mr. Hobby super metallics are also nice. Depends on what you sort of like want to get grips with, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's also worth, remember, if you're doing P51, that the body of a P51 was actual metal, whereas the wings were painted. So you want to like look at different hues between the body and the wing.
Yeah, so that's the B17. As we were sort of doing that one again with that nice finish. Hold on, usual thing.
Killing me off in chat because I talk about peanut butter and jam jelly sandwiches.
How about those ones?
So that's the B17. Sorry, that's the decals. Again, very nice. And again, the trouble is the camera just hates it. That's because the camera's glaring off of it. It's better when it's angled on the wall. So yes, there's that one. That's how we did that, and we just weathered through. There she is. So again, very much nice aluminium finish right the way over, so to speak, on that one. So that's how we did that. And then obviously down in here as well we have, where's the sabre? There it is. Sabre's the only one with a wonky box. So yes, we've got the sabre down here, which is we did.
Didn't you do the Tammy P51 recently?
Yeah, but I did it in green, didn't I?
No, I thought you did the D
No, I've done the D, not for a long time.
with the blue nose.
Nope, that wasn't me. You did it.
And I did it. I thought you did.
Hold on, zip through here. There you go. So yes. Again, it's one of those ones where it's not straightforward. There it is, that's the photo I was after. So technically the P51, the wings were puttied over to get rid of all the riveting to make it quicker. Then they painted it silver. So this is what this is. This is silver paint versus a metallizer paint. So as you can see, there's quite a large difference between the two, and even though the camera hates both. But again, in here, this one has that sort of, you can't see any flake in it at all. It's like it's just one piece metal, where obviously over here it's more of the painted side. So even though this has got different types of metal finish down in here for the wingtips and obviously for the ailerons and flaps, the actual one over here is just in. So this is LP11, which is another way we used it for anything that's supposed to be painted silver, because I think it's a great colour for that. But again, if you want to go for a metal like we did on the Sabre, then that's when we used Alclads, and I think it's got dark aluminium in here. This is that white aluminium colour, I think it is, down in that one to break it all up. But it's quite nice because you can sort of, you know, change all the colours out of it. So again, it is a proper bright metally colour versus over, you know, your normal sort of ones as well. So yeah, but it came out very nice, I must admit. We had good vibes with that one. And again, you can weather over them, no problem at all. Got some oils on the go. Hold on, there's the final photos. Come on. There's a lot of photos on this one. There we go. There she is. So again, it's just that thing about getting it into that area where you get away from the flaky look of the metallic. So yes, we were happy. So, if you used to do metal finishes, John, what would you use?
Well, I've got a variety. I've got AKs, I've got Mr. Hobby Super Metallics, I've got MRPs, so yeah, whatever comes to hand. I've been using the AKs a lot recently. I do quite like them. They're fairly easy to use, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. Nathan?
So,
I tend to use the same as yourself, Phil. That bottle there, just in front of Spitfire, is the easiest one. It's just, you can blast it on, you can spray it, it just forgives you. It's just the surface prep underneath that's really important, isn't it? Getting it super smooth. It doesn't matter what you... But those ones that Phil's got do forgive a lot of mis-spraying. Like Alclads, I've got loads of Alclads, they rub off.
Yeah. Again, like I often say, don't forget the difference between painting and this stuff. This is more like plating. So it is this thing about it rubs away very easy because it's such a thin layer of it, because you don't need to build it up. So it's quite thin stuff anyway. You just shake the bottle and spray it. You don't thin it. But if you're continuously grabbing that same place, you're going to wear through it. If you're grabbing that front leading edges of wings, you will wear through it. So it is quite fragile. But this stuff as well, it's this thing where for probably I would say the first 3 days, 72 hours, don't touch it. Let it totally go off. To be honest, it's the same as I did Molotov chrome pen for the base over here on this thing. And again, it's one of it, like I say in the video, it's beautiful. It's pure chrome. It looks amazing, but you can't touch it for days because otherwise it's really soft still. So if you hold it and the heat of your hand sort of softens it and you'll go through, this stuff is the same. And in there, we were just flicking through, you've probably seen some of them, I mask over it as well. And a lot of people say you can't mask over it. You can, but you got to leave it till it totally dries off before you can try and mask it. And again, don't go massively over the top with it. Let all the coats dry. So you make sure your primer's totally dry. If you can, put a black gloss coat over it, so that way you see all that metal stuff is great. You know, so you get good luster. Make sure that's totally dry. Then you put a couple of thin coats of this on and you'll be absolutely golden. The great thing about using a black gloss, you can see it. You can see when you've covered it. If you're using grey, you're not quite sure. You know, you just add probably a little bit more than you need, but if it's black, you can see immediately when you've got enough down and you can move off from it. So that's the thing. keeping it all safe. So cool. Very good. Right. Okie dokie then, guys. We have gone over. We're late.
Yes. There's a fantastic conversation about how much milk cows give.
Is that what they're on about? And how much does a cow give?
Quite a lot.
Ian says he's known the cows to do 100,000 litres. That's obviously over the lifetime.
What, a day?
We've got one old lady that gives 75 litres a day.
Jesus.
65 litres a day, sorry.
Crikey.
She
And the
can't
poor
run
old farmer still only gets paid something like 13p a pint, isn't it? Or 11p a pint, is it? It's terrible money they actually get for it.
She can't run cars on it, isn't it?
Well, this is it. So, yes, very nice. So that's it. We all need a cow, do we? For your own milk and cheese and butter, be churning, it'll be fine. So, never mind. Anyway, right, so tomorrow I'll be with you. Obviously, get the next part of the Battlestar Galactica. That will be up with you tomorrow. I'm going to do all the editing of this because it's pretty much finished. I'll get it finished off tomorrow for the actual Spitfire. So that will be up with you next week. So there's going to be a ton of stuff coming your way with the run up to Christmas, right the way up to Christmas Day. And obviously, I've got the reviews to do as well. So I will be piling into those as well tomorrow and over the weekend and next week as we make our way through. Next Friday's show is going to be a little bit different because obviously it's our Christmas show because obviously it's the eve of Christmas Eve, so it's the last day that we're actually working. So from our point of view, it's going to be our sort of Christmas show. So we're going to have a few drinks, we'll be looking back at the year, we'll be doing our sort of nominations for the year and the usual bits and pieces that will go along with that one. So it's going to be totally an informal, so there won't be any topics or anything else like that next week as we make our way through on there.
Ian says, when's the end of year auction?
Yes.
Yes.
I can't remember.
I was talking to Matt about it.
I've got it written down in the kitchen, actually. I haven't got it here.
Oh, I've got it here. Shall I say it?
Yeah.
Sunday, 2nd of Jan.
Right, okay, so there we go. Sunday, 2nd of January. So, yes, we will
So
be there.
get your orders in ASAP if you want them before Christmas, because obviously postage will close off.
Yes. Sorry, what day did I say then, Mark? Mark says, Phil, you mean Thursday? What, it is next Thursday? Yes.
I think you said Friday.
Oh, did I? Sorry. Yes, next Thursday night is our last one because we're all, that's it. We're not working Christmas Eve. I've been dragged in. So
yes, it's a New Year's auction, not a New Year auction.
Yeah, yeah, New Year's auction. So yes, we will be doing obviously the one for that one to make our way through, and I think May and Matt are on about maybe doing something in between Christmas and New Year as well, and all the rest of it. So if the guys are around for it as well, we'll all be on. But as I say, I can't remember what day that was either. I've forgotten now. It's all written down on the back of a napkin somewhere, no doubt, and I will find it, and I'll let you know tomorrow. So yes. Cool. Right. Okay then, guys. We will leave it there. Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much, Andy. Thank you very much, Nathan. And obviously, thank you for you guys for joining us today as well. So we will see you all again very, very soon. I don't need my outro. See if we get the final clap. There we go. We're out of here, everybody. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Bye.
Bye.